Green Room on Air. Green Room on Air. The podcast that takes you beyond the velvet curtains and into the pulsating heart of the entertainment world.
Well, hi, Thomas. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really glad to have you on the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Yeah, and I'm happy you're here too. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and Afro Solo?
Yes, my name is Thomas Robert Simpson. I'm the founder and artistic director of the Afro Solo Theater Company here in San Francisco. We're celebrating our 31st year of showcasing Black artists, giving voice to the Black experience through theater, dance, music, spoken word. We're a multidisciplined company.
How many, 30 something, how many years? 30?
We're in our 31st year.
Wow.
Actually, we started as a result of a birthday party I threw for myself back in 1991. You may remember there was a show called 30 something on TV at the time. And I was turning 39 that year. So I thought, oh my God, this is my last year as a 30 something. I better do something. So I'm an actor. So I threw a performance party. Had singers, dancers, poets, violinists, and it went so well. The next year, people said, "What are you going to do for your birthday?" So I threw a performance party, and the next year, another performance party, and we thought, this might make a really nice annual event. In 1994, we had our first festival, and we've been having festivals ever since.
That's wonderful. So you're over 39. I never would have guessed. So how did you come up with the name Afro Solo? I really like that.
I was trying to figure out a name that had to do with the Black experience, but also solo. And I don't know how long you've been here, but there is the Marsh, which does solo work. At that time, there was a company out at Fort Mason doing Solo Mia. There was a group doing promo Afro Homo. So one person gave me the idea of solo soul, and that was good, but that didn't give the international flavor that I wanted. So Afro Solo came to me, and that's what stuck. Basically, African Americans in solo performance.
Great name. So you have a new this year's performance coming up in March, right?
Yes.
And what do we have to look forward to in March?
What we've grown to is, instead of doing one event over the weekend, we spread and have enough to do an event throughout the year. So this would be our second performance of what we call Let Freedom Ring Part 2. So it's loosely based around that theme that people will respond to. We have some wonderful performances again. We have a gospel singer who does Black spirituals, who will be giving voice to the Black experience through music. His name is Doug Haynes. He's very well known from a very well-known musical family here in San Francisco. He sings primarily at the church he attends, and he very seldom does solo work. I know about his family, and I happened to be at an event when he was kind of singing in the background. And I thought, who is that gentleman? I found out who he was and more about his history. I invited him to put a program together of Black spirituals and gospel. And he will be performing with a Dr. Carl Blake, who is a internationally known pianist. So they will do what we call a mini concert on Black spirituals.
That's wonderful. There's so many amazing musicians in the churches in the Bay Area that don't usually get out of that environment and perform. It's great that you found somebody like that. I think it'll be a real treat.
That's exactly what we do. We try to find these jewels that are out there to bring forth, because there's so many jewels out there, like you said.
Yeah.
I teach a writing class, and I've been teaching writing for a number of years. I started a few years ago working with men who had spent time in jail or prison to write about their stories. Then I started working with women who are in the San Francisco, the Bayview area, Black women in that area, to write and talk about their experience. Then I began to work with women who, not women, but people who were senior citizens, so to tell their stories. So I have a couple of those writers who will be performing also. One is named Augustine Phillips. She's 84 years old, though you would
Oh,
not
wow.
know it to see her. And she's been writing about her family history. And in these workshops, I'll often give them a prompt and they'll just start writing. So I gave her one prompt to talk about her family, and she began to talk about growing up in Arkansas and being working on a carton farm. And
Ah,
she
great.
picked carton, and she was from a family who picked a carton for a living. And
Hmm.
we talked. I've heard about sharecroppers, and I know about sharecroppers through history, but have one across from me who can talk about it firsthand was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
She has a piece. One of the prompts I gave one day was "Let America Be America Again," which is by Langston Hughes. So I read that poem and had them respond to it. And what she responded to was a poem that turned out to be "Don't Let That America Be America Again," and that she talked about her father and his growing up, raising cotton, picking cotton, sharecropping, and how difficult that was, and
Yeah.
how in the end he had to change his life as a result of it. He moved to San Francisco. So just to hear that from a first person point of view was quite amazing.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Yeah.
Another writer, her name is Libah Sheppard.
Hmm.
A lot of things about Afro solo are kind of heavy, and that we deal with some things that sometimes are related to our lives and sometimes related to trauma. Now, the music would be a bright spot, but even in the spirituals, there's some trauma that can be related to that, but
Yeah.
it's on a high level. Liba, who is, I don't know her age, but she is of age, but she had an experience growing up where her brother was killed by a
Hmm.
policeman when she was 12, and she happened to be in the car when it happened.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's something that she hasn't begun to talk about until the last year or so. So this is the first time that she was able to write about it. And she wrote this, I think, a pretty phenomenal piece that deals with her growing up, what the results of that experience had for her, in the sense that she um, got into some things she maybe wish she hadn't have gotten into, but she has pulled herself out of it. And she graduated from college a couple of years ago, and she's now working on her master's. So to hear her tell that story is quite liberating, interesting, exciting, and all the things that go along with that. I write also. A number of years ago, I wrote a solo show. And that's what I do, solo work about the Black male experience. And one of the pieces I wrote about was about urban renewal.
Hmm.
And urban renewal, if you look at its history, hasn't always been kind to the Black community. But I thought,
Right.
what would this be like from a child's point of view? So I wrote it from a child's point of view, thinking about all the excitement, about the new things that were going to happen, all the new streets were going to be built, and the new houses that were going to be built, and how he was going to be able to get his own house with the family. Um, and the thought is this ever going to come true? So I met a gentleman, his name is Hugh Leeman, who does artificial intelligence, and he does artificial intelligence in filmmaking. So he's turning this story into a film, which I'm very excited about also.
Yes, I read that on your website. I'm really interested to see that.
And
The film is made through artificial intelligence.
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Did you see the trailer by chance?
No, I
Okay,
didn't. No,
okay,
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
okay.
Yeah.
Check it out. You'll see a
Yeah.
little bit about it.
Yeah.
I'll share something with you that is not on the press release that's going to be happening also, and that I often do things that I feel are important for the Black community. And one of those things is Black people and police relationships.
Hmm.
And that, a number of people, like there are about 1,000 people killed by the police each year in the United States. Some say a lot more. And a significant number of those are Black in terms
Right.
of the population. So uh, I worked with another theater company to solicit short plays that had to do with police-black relations. And what we're going to do is use those plays as a jumping off point for community engagement conversations around police conversations and how to survive police stops. And for one of our events that's going to happen in March 28th through the 30th, on the 30th, we're going to use that play as a jumping off point to have a post-performance discussion about police-black relations. And we'll have someone from the police department there, maybe a lawyer, maybe a social worker or psychologist, and just have a conversation.
Wow, what a great idea.
And all of
Love
these
that.
things will happen each night. It's not
Yeah.
like you're going to get the singing one night and the reading two nights. What I try to do is give glimpses of the Black experience. And from these glimpses, this mosaic, I think, kind of comes together as to who we are and what we are.
Ah, wonderful. I mean, I can't wait to see this. It sounds great. It's like a very unique experience here in San Francisco. There used to be a lot more of these types of things, and I'm really glad that you're doing it.
Yes.
Um,
San
yeah,
Francisco is very unique in the sense of helping to support projects like this.
yeah, yeah. Not to equate it or anything, but I just wanted to share with you my grandfather and his family, they were sharecroppers over in Pacifica with on artichoke farm, and his sister wrote a book about their experience that I have. I have the original copy right here that
Wow.
she typed.
Pacifica,
She
California,
gave
right
it to
now.
me before.
Pacifica, California, right down the road.
Yeah, yeah,
It was sharecropping in California?
yeah.
Actually,
But it was all
California?
Italians.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, what happened was is the earthquake, the 1906 earthquake happened, and a lot of them were living not, it wasn't maybe North Beach, but also a lot of the poorer Italians were up near Coit Tower area, and everything burnt down, and they had nowhere to go, so they went out there and became sharecroppers.
Well, I mean, I don't know if their experience was a good experience or a bad experience, but
Well,
that's very fascinating to me. I'd like
it
to
was
hear
hard. It was hard. Being a sharecropper is
the same
hard.
thing,
Yeah.
same principle.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened here. So fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to let you know. It's amazing, right?
You're an
Yeah.
actor. You can do a solo show about it.
I, I should. I just finished writing a solo show about my great granduncle who moved here from Italy and wanted to become a famous singer, but he ended up just being a janitor in New York. He did make it to Broadway one time, but he was extremely poor and he lived in a basement and was a janitor. But I should do a show about that. Anyway,
Those are the kind of stories I love that you'd never know about, you don't hear about them, but they're alive and living. And
yeah.
that would be fascinating.
Yeah, maybe I'll do one on that too. Um, I love them too. I love hearing the history of of people who are here and how they either how they got here or I particularly love the history of San Francisco and the Bay Area and the changes it's gone through over the last 150 years. Anyway, but so if people want to get tickets to your show, they can just go to your website.
They can go to our website and there
Mm-hmm.
link to where they can pick up tickets. The
Okay.
performances will take place at the Potrero stage, which is on 18th Street. There will be
Yeah.
a link there taking care of our tickets. So there's a link there to get tickets. And the thing about the tickets is they're from $0 to $35. People can pay what they like
Oh, to pay what you
and
can.
or pay what you can. So
Okay.
that's a very nice thing that we try to make our art accessible to people.
Great. And I love the location of the Potrero stage because if you're in the city, it doesn't take long to get there. It's just the southern part of San Francisco. And if you're down on the peninsula, it's super easy to get there. It's not like going downtown where it takes an extra 45 minutes sometimes. You just get off the highway and it's right there.
It's a really
So
sweet, as I
yeah,
said, theater that they have there.
yeah, it's very nice location. Well, this sounds like a wonderful show. I really encourage people to go and see it. What are the dates? Tell us the dates again.
Dates are March
Mm-hmm.
8th, 29th. The show will start, that's Friday and Saturday. The show will start at 7 o'clock those nights. And on Sunday, it will be at 3 o'clock. We will also be live streaming, so people can get tickets to
Ah.
stream it as well as attend in person. And one of the reasons we start a little bit early is the people who live sort of like out of the Pacific time zone will still be able to pick it up if they are interested.
One of the great things of one of the great results of COVID is live streaming.
Like let's talk
And
about
what we're doing right now.
it's amazing, and I've come to love it and because
Yeah.
of the convenience of it. Sometimes we miss that person to person, but this is so
Yeah.
nice. And it's opened up so many doors for people to communicate.
Well, it's always better to be in person, but if you can't, hey, it's the next best thing, and you can allow so many more people to experience it.
And
Um,
I'm from Nashville. My
mhm.
people are primarily Atlanta, Nashville, Louisville, Cincinnati. So opening it up to people to experience across the country is very, very nice.
How long have you been in the Bay Area?
I came in 84. I came
Oh,
to be here 1 year.
oh, okay.
At the time, I was trying to decide where I wanted to go with my performance, my art, my theater. And I was trying to decide between New York or LA or Chicago. And at the time, it was in the winter. So I definitely didn't want to go to Chicago, New York, and LA. I wasn't ready for. I came and visited San Francisco one year, and I was like, oh my God. I thought, oh, this is where I'd like to be. So as I was thinking about moving, I said, okay, I'll go to San Francisco for 1 year. Then I go to places, and I've been ever since.
It's just one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I mean, hands down. It's the most beautiful small big city in the world, I think. It's
I,
it's not very big, but you feel like you're in miniature New York or something.
yes, and it's
But
easy to take a little trip and you can see these other places and still come back to the city. And
yeah,
I don't know if I never tire of that scene of coming across the Bay Bridge, seeing the city off there to the right. It's a beautiful sight.
beautiful, isn't it? Or you go out on Treasure Island or Yerba Buena and see the city,
Yes.
or from Marin Headlands. Yeah. Well, thank you, Thomas. Really looking forward to the show. I encourage everybody to go get tickets, afrosolo.org.
Correct.
Okay, afrosolo.org. Get your tickets. It's going to be a very special performance. 3 nights, right? Three,
Three
three,
nights, yeah.
three nights.
Three performances, two
Three,
nights and one afternoon.
2 nights, one afternoon. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And people can email me trs100@yahoo.com if they have any questions. And I look
Okay.
at all of your family members there.
TRS@yahoo.com.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very, very much. You have a good day.
You too.